Tonight, we're talking to parents about their concerns as their kids return back to school. So, we're going to be talking about coping strategies that they can implement and how we can support them. You don't want to miss this. This conversation is about to be great. Like, tag, and share so we can expand this conversation and see our city change.
Uh, let's see. Major stressors during this time is safety, for one.
Okay.
Number two is making sure that we don't contract the virus.
Right.
So practicing taking the precautionary measures and making sure that the children are aware to continue to implement those as well. And just the main level of just safety. Safety being the key.
Okay.
Yes.
So, what kind of questions have you gotten from your kids?
Well, to be honest with you, other than me reminding them to practice social distance, continue to wash your hands, load your hands down with hand sanitizer constantly, they have just been going with the flow. And that's just, like I said, my children, but I'm sure others are just bombarded with self-isolation, not being able to do the norm as we once knew it. But now this is the norm, so we'll just have to continue to go with it. But as far as my children, they're flexible and they'll persevere through it.
Okay. So as a parent though, how are you if the children are concerned, how are we talking to them about keeping them at ease? And I'll just say, are you telling them, what are some things that you telling them to keep them at ease? Because I know that's one of the concerns. Are they scared to go back? Have they shared that they're scared? Or what kind of concerns have they shared with you about returning back to school? And I know it's a difference because some are doing virtual and some are doing face-to-face. So is it right now, are the school system that your kids are attending, are they going to be doing virtual or both? Or face-to-face?
Well, I have a college student.
Right.
So of course, he'll return back it is August now, in a couple of weeks. So they will have to take precautionary measures, but we have to take in consideration it kicked off like their week of their spring break in March. So he's been home since March. And of course, as a parent of a college student, adjusting to college life, coming back home, it has been an adjustment for us all. And of course, although we're going through the pandemic, I think he wants to get back to his college life. But on the flip side of that, my middle schooler, initially, we decided to do the blended learning where it was going to be 2 on and 3 off, as meaning 2 going in face-to-face, and then the 3 days of just online learning. But as we all know, with Birmingham City, they did decide to do the first 9 weeks as virtual. So for us and her study habits, virtual will be fine. But for others, it may be a little stressful. And I can say I have, I guess, a step ahead of others as me being an educator during the day. So I could adjust her schedule for what she needs. Whereas just a mom that hasn't had and dad that hasn't experienced the educational side of it as far as being an educator as their profession, it may be a little stressful. And just from talking to moms and dads, like I said, as a teacher, on the flip side, I can see their stress because as an educator, I'm stressful for not being able to implement the face-to-face. And to be honest with you, it's difficult teaching virtual.
Right.
You can say you have moms and dads are in the background hearing and they're chiming in when I needed to be more of the student learning and the student responding. So it's an adjustment for us all, and basically like on the job training, we go and adjust as the day progresses.
Okay, Savannah, we were just talking, Miss Letha is a parent and she's also an educator as well. But we're talking about parents today and the concerns and questions that as a parent, some things you could do to, or how to feel ease with your children or your child returning back to school. Letha has a middle school and a college student. And I know you have a first time attending school.
Yeah, kindergarten.
Yes.
Oh my.
Mhm.
Yes, and she's having to return to or start school
Prepare.
in the pandemic. So as a parent,
Yes.
that's definitely some concerns that you have, and of course some questions. And so we're going to talk about ways you're preparing and some things that will help you be at ease about your child attending school in COVID-19.
Okay.
So, how are you, or what are your major concerns currently as we approach this new school system in this uncertainty?
Well, I think it's too early to open the schools back up personally, but I'm in that position where I have to put my kids somewhere because I have to make money. So I have spoken to her pediatrician because I wanted to see what he thought. He's putting his kids back in school, so that kind of made me feel a little bit more comfortable putting my daughter back in school. I've read all I can about COVID concerns for 5-year-olds, and it's out there. She could get it, but it's not as much of a risk if she does, from what I can tell. So we're just taking precautions. Helena, the school she's going to, doesn't seem to have that many precautions set in place. So I really feel like her school will probably close down really soon.
Okay. So as we prepare to go to school, are we educating, or are they, the school, have they provided some detailed information as to how the child, how they're going to keep safety, how they're going to?
No, they gave us one email a month ago about eating lunches in the hallways to avoid overcrowded lunchrooms. That didn't seem like much of a help in my mind. And then we haven't really heard much other than that. I actually know a lot of teachers and staff in the Shelby County school systems, and they're not really doing what they can. I've heard other school systems that actually come up with more creative ways to try to at least deep clean the schools. But as far as I can tell, Shelby's kind of just acting like it's not a problem.
Okay. So what is concern? Has she shared that with you? Have she said, asked, what is COVID-19?
She doesn't really quite know what COVID-19 is, because I didn't want to, terrify her. I'm a therapist, so I try to keep, her level. She thinks it's really fun to wear a mask. I don't think the kindergartners are going to be required to wear a mask, but we've made it a fun thing for her. So she might actually be one of the few that will hopefully maintain a mask through most of the day. She got to wear one all day at the zoo, had no issues with it. So like we've just sort of like, this is the new world we live in. You go to the grocery store, you wear a mask, you wash your hands after you touch any surface, that kind of thing. So we will see. I don't know. She doesn't seem to show any fears. Mostly it's just me and my husband trying to figure out what to do in this world now. So
Okay, good. So did you all have the option though, if your school system, to do virtual?
they gave us the option, which I feel is not much of an option. The studies show that children under the age of 7 do not learn virtually. They really don't, not unless you're going to become a homeschooled mom, which I can't. We're a 2-income family, so there's no way one of us could take off and do that. And where my job is, I have to go. Hopefully my job might change where I can work from home if the schools do close, but it's not really a choice. That's a lot of the people I've spoken to. It's not really a choice. Doing virtual learning for children that can't stay at home by themselves, it's not a choice.
Okay. So face-to-face will be the only option for you at this time. So those parents that are dealing with that too, because that's a huge concern, because they have to work And if you don't have somebody who can teach them or monitor them doing the virtual, participating in that, then that's something that a parent has to be really concerned. Do I go to work or do I stay at home and teach or monitor my child's education at this time?
Yeah, and I don't live near family, so there's not like an aunt or a grandparent that would stay with her during the day. A handful of the parents I have spoken with that are my daughter's age, they've selected to keep their kids in pre-K for another year because they trust the pre-K system that they're in, and instead of keeping them home, they're just going to do another year of pre-K before they start maybe at first grade.
Okay. So what are you doing now to remain at ease, to feel at ease?
Kevin, my husband, and I, we are creating plan A, plan B, plan C.
Okay.
So plan A, go to school. We are realistic, thinking it's not going to open long. And so we're creating, okay, what do we do while it's still open? What kind of ways do we, so my husband already takes precautions when he comes home, he changes. So like, well, maybe we get her to change before she comes around her baby brother. And then plan B would be when schools do close, one of us are going to have to figure out which job we can kind of start putting pressure on our bosses to let us work from home, or unemployment. And then we're just trying to figure out what it'll look like going forward.
Okay, all right. Thanks. Letha, what about you? Is there, what are you doing to remain at ease and feel at ease as you send your child in middle school? Because she's changing schools, right? Is this a new school?
No, she'll still be at WJ as well.
Okay.
Because she's a 7th grader this year.
Okay, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
yes.
What are you doing to feel at ease? How are you staying at ease about Senator?
Other than like, is it Savannah just stated?
Yes.
Being more informed, keeping options open, listening to friends and family on their suggestions, and just not internalizing everything, just getting as many ideas and advice as I can from people that I value their opinion, and relying on my faith. So
right.
That's pretty much it. And just like I said, to continue to stress social distance, all of the precautionary measures that we need to take in order not to contract the virus, and to remain safe.
Yes. And then to communicate, have an open conversation to your kids too, because it helps them to understand why they're doing what they're doing. Right. Yes. Explaining to them, because they're going to come home, especially if they're going face to face, they're going to have class mates. They're going to give them sometimes some invalid information. It's not valid. And then they're going to come home and they're going to ask questions of so-and-so, why is this? So-and-so, why, and we have to be prepared to let them know that have an open conversation with them and let them know the pros and cons, the why, the wins, and the how, so they will be open about what's really going on. And then too, to let them know, because we've expressed that before to them when we in regular schools, regular times, about washing their hands, and when you cough, putting your what is it, coughing to your shoulder, your elbow, yes, and so forth. And but now we have to really stress it, but also we have to depend on the educators there, the teachers there, to be a little bit more responsible about the safety measures and expressing that. So this is going to be definitely adjustment. It's going to be some little stresses because, of course, Savannah, with the child going to school for the first time, there's normal stress.
Yeah, that's a whole different experience than what we were anticipating for 5 years. Yeah. So I don't even get to meet the teachers beforehand. I don't get to tour the school. So it's like, here, take my child at pickup line. I have no idea where she'll be in the side of this building. So yeah, it's a little
Mhm.
stressful.
Yes.
In addition to wearing a mask.
I can't even see the teacher's full face when I do get to see her outside. It's like, you make your eyes look familiar to me.
Exactly.
Yes, yes. So, and I think, of course, kids, when they feel our energy,
That's
they
true.
feel energy. So if you're calm and relaxed and reassuring them, then they will understand. They'll be better able to cope with handling the situation and less stressful if we're less stressful.
Yes,
So,
yeah. The one thing the elementary school has done is they've opened up their playground, and so we can't go crazy with the amount of people there, but we have been able to take Sterling there once or twice in the afternoon to play there, so that she'll have a familiar spot when they go back to school or when she starts school there.
Okay, that's a great idea. That's a great idea to allow them to be able to, go to the school and, experience that before, so she'll have some type of expectation of what. That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. So have teachers been able to reach out, or have they reached out?
My teachers aren't reaching out, I don't think, until next week,
Okay.
because school starts in 2 weeks. So I think this is their week where they go into their classrooms and start setting up.
Mhm.
We don't actually know which teacher we have yet, or our supply list. I think that's kindergarten normalcy anyways. But the school has sent regular emails, not quite COVID related, but just normal back to school stuff. So.
Okay. So it'll be a transition for the teachers as well, because they're having to adjust. They're learning, they're learning strategies, and they have their concerns about safety themselves, and then I know that I know some schools for sure, some education facilities are encouraging their teachers to wear masks. Letha, have your district encouraged that you all will be as an educator question now?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a requirement.
That's required.
For all. Yes.
So
as you enter the building, it's requiring you to have a face covering. As well as with going back to the question that you stated earlier about the precautionary measures that the college level is requiring. My son, before entering the campus, he does have to have a COVID-19 test 14 days prior to.
Okay.
If they are positive, they have protocol for that. If it's negative, then you resume your normal, college relocation back to the campus. But they also have to wear masks. The only time that you don't wear one is in the presence of your dorm facility. And thank God he has a suite room. So he's in, not isolation, but living alone.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But it's face coverings is the new thing. So we've been adding that to the supply list and hoping that you can get some couple ones that are more jazzier than others. But make sure you have one at all times.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we went back to school clothes shopping the other day, and Gap and Old Navy had kid masks and 3 packs matching the outfits and everything. So we loaded up. It was kind of funny.
Yes. And I guess also add in your little Bath and Body, doing a little advertising, Bath and Body little hand sanitizers in your little pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's got one on each bag and lunchbox. I'm like,
that's good. She's ready.
Using it. Yeah.
Yeah. See, we have a new normal. We have to get adjusted to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
So will you all be encouraging, once the kids return from home, will you be requiring or encouraging them teaching them how to strip from everything?
We haven't quite 100% decided on that, mostly because we're not sure about after school care just now for Sterling.
Okay.
But my husband does change before he picks up the children. So if we pick up Sterling, we'll probably get her to change it before we pick up the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Or when we get home, go change your clothes and wash your hands before playing with your brother.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Well, it's one day at a time, one step at a time.
That's right.
Like you said earlier, Letha, it's like you're training again. It's like we're having to train ourselves to a different way of normal, and it's going to take time. Yes, it's going to take time, some adjustments. So we plan a routine, have an open conversation, take our time, and of course too, since kids will be online more, we have to be mindful of protecting them from their online.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So we want to be mindful of that, and then have an open conversation with our educators, letting them be, I think that's going to be the key, having that open conversation with them more than we have had before, because they're in transition too, and having open communication with them to know what works, what doesn't work, what could be better, how just my child responded to this, and just being able to have because now we have electronic more, we can email more now, and of course communicate more now, via versus going up to the school and having them contact us through phone as we had in the past. But anyway, we have more ways to have an open communication now, so we have to take advantage of that as well in these times, because that's going to make a huge difference too. And so we continue that dialogue, and not just with the teachers, but with our administrators as well, and informing them of our concerns and so forth. And if we can work together, I think that we'll get through this. We definitely will. So I want to do you all have any other questions or concerns that you all want to share right now? Any comments?
No, it's been very informative, because like you stated, I need to practice more as a parent of just saying, well, what's my child's perception of how they're feeling, versus, because like I said, they're resilient, and sometimes they may have something going on and I'm thinking that they're okay, when in actuality it may be anxiety or something.
Right. So paying more attention to their needs,
right, and asking,
right. It's very important. Yes. So that's part of the counseling part for me, because I advocate for the kids, because a lot of times they are not able to express their feelings because they're not comfortable, because most of the time they're taught to be seen and not heard. So when they come to me, they're able to express those emotions and learn that those emotions that they are feeling are emotions that are okay to feel.
Okay.
Sometimes what happens is that they learn that mad or sad is not a good emotion. It's a normal emotion. We have to feel it. But when it becomes bad or not healthy, I'm going to say, is when we express it in a way that's not healthy. So what we do is teach them to express those emotions in a healthy way.
Like communication skills. Yeah.
There you go. Yes. So, and once they learn that, they definitely can be able to be better students, because a lot of times they're going to get, especially now, frustrated with the fact that they have to make adjustments too.
Yeah.
Yes, because it's going to be a challenge for them to do virtual, sit at a computer so many hours a day. That's why we need to have them do it in increments, in times. 15 minutes maybe. Okay, you do that in 15 minutes, and then we take them away and do another activity. But that's going to take some adjustment as well, and we have to be willing to do that.
Right.
So, okay, Savannah, anything you want to add before we close out?
No, you covered most of it. Yeah, that's about what I've been doing with my clients. It's just preparing them for virtual learning. It's gonna come.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming.
All right, thank y'all so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And we will be in touch.
Okay.
Join us every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube as we discuss strategies on how to keep hope, joy, and stability in your life. Please share this video. It will help those struggling to maintain hope, joy, and stability in these uncertain times. For any other needs, please feel free to visit us on the web at smithdudleycounseling.com or call us at 205-972
8327, where we are committed to helping you reach your full potential in life.